Welcome back. It's Luna. Thank you for coming again today. I'm really happy. I will do my best to deliver a heartwarming moment, so please relax and enjoy. Day 109, A Hospital's Dark Secrets. The Abandoned Ruins. At the end of summer, an abandoned hospital, located in the suburbs away from the hustle and bustle of the city, became a topic of conversation among the townspeople. It was once a hospital boasting the latest equipment, but after a certain incident, it was closed down and no one set foot in it anymore. According to rumors, the spirits of former patients and doctors still roam this hospital. Strange voices, footsteps, and shadowy figures are sometimes witnessed, making it a popular spot for local youths to test their courage. That night, a group of high school students from the town decided to visit the hospital for a test of courage. Yuta, the leader of the group, entered the abandoned hospital with his friends. Their goal was to reach the operating room deep inside the hospital. Okay, is everyone ready? From here on, it's at your own risk, Yuta said, shining his flashlight. Of course, this isn't scary at all, Takuya replied with a laugh. The group proceeded from the hospital entrance. The air inside the ruins was chilly, and remnants of the past were still vividly present on the walls. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and debris was scattered on the floor. Is this the operating room? Ioka asked doubtfully. Not yet. Let's proceed carefully. Yuta urged them to move cautiously, encountering strange sounds and eerie shadows along the way. The group continued towards the operating room. Suddenly, they heard the sound of a door closing behind them. What was that sound? Rika asked in a frightened voice. Don't worry about it. It was probably just the wind. Yuta tried to remain calm, but he was tense inside. Strange phenomena. The group proceeded cautiously and finally reached the operating room. The room was as it had been, with the operating table and medical equipment left untouched. However, the air was heavy with an ominous atmosphere. This is the operating room. It feels creepy, Takuya muttered. Wait, look at that. Ioka pointed to a strange pattern on the wall. It resembled some kind of ritual, drawn in a red liquid that looked like blood. Is this some kind of ritual? Yuta began to examine the pattern carefully. At that moment, the entire hospital shook, and dust fell from the ceiling. The flashlight flickered, and the group stood still in shock. What was that? An earthquake? Rika asked fearfully. No, it wasn't just an earthquake. I feel like something is here, Yuta said, unable to hide his tension. Suddenly, an old radio on the operating table began to work and emitted strange noises. The sound gradually became clearer, and a woman's voice whispered, Help me, let me out. The voice was filled with pain and despair. Did someone die here? Ioka asked, her voice trembling. Yuta tried to turn off the radio, but it moved on its own and started making strange noises again. Feeling scared, the group hurried to leave the operating room. However, as soon as they entered the hallway, a black shadow blocked their path. The shadow was human-shaped and stared coldly at them. Run, Yuta shouted, and the group began to run. As they ran through the abandoned hospital, strange phenomena continued to assault them. Doors closed on their own, cold wind blew from below, and blood-like stains spread on the walls. What the hell is going on here? Takuya shouted, out of breath. We need to get out of here. Yuta aimed for the exit using his flashlight. Finally reaching the entrance, the group burst outside the hospital. Breathing in the fresh air, they took a sigh of relief, but an eerie presence still lingered behind them. I have no idea what happened, but I never want to come back here again, Rika said, trembling. You're right. This place isn't just an abandoned building. Something is lurking here, Yuta agreed, and the group left the site. However, this event left a deep mark on their memories. setting the stage for their inevitable return to the hospital. There was still an unexplained darkness in the abandoned hospital, memory of terror. Days passed, and Yuta and his friends couldn't forget what they experienced at the abandoned hospital. The strange phenomena and the presence of the black shadow planted deep fear in their hearts. However, Yuta felt he couldn't leave things as they were and decided to return to the hospital to uncover the truth. We need to go back to that hospital and find out what's really happening, Yuta proposed to his friends. Go back. After what happened last time, it's scary, but, Takuya replied anxiously, but we can't leave things like this. We need to find out what's going on, Yuta said with determination. Ioka and Rika agreed, and the group decided to return to the abandoned hospital. This time, they were more prepared, bringing necessary equipment like flashlights, cameras, and recording devices to handle any situation. Let's be careful this time. We don't know what's going to happen, Ioka warned everyone. Arriving at the hospital, Yuta and his friends once again entered its eerie atmosphere. As they walked through the corridors, they encountered the same strange sounds and shadows as before. Let's head to the operating room first. There might be some clues there, Yuta said cautiously. Reaching the operating room, they found the strange pattern again. It was more clearly defined than last time, indicating something significant. Yuta took pictures of the pattern with his camera to keep a record. This pattern might have been used in some kind of ritual. Ioka pondered. Yes, something was happening in this hospital. Yuta closely observed the pattern. Suddenly, the radio activated again, this time with a clearer voice. Help us, we are trapped here. The voice was the same woman's voice as before, sounding even more desperate. What is this? Did someone do this? Rika asked, her voice trembling with fear. It's certain that something happened here, but to find out the truth, we need to investigate further. Yuta renewed his resolve to delve deeper. Past sins. Yuta and his friends decided to look for the hospital's records room. It was supposed to contain the hospital's history and patient information. As they proceeded down the corridor, they reached an old wooden door labeled records room. There might be some clues here, Yuta said, opening the door and entering. Inside the records room, dust covered everything, and old files and documents were piled high on the shelves. Yuta and his friends carefully began to examine the documents. Eventually, they found records related to the incident that led to the hospital's closure. It's written here, the hospital was closed due to a major surgical error. But that's not all. Ioka read the documents. What do you mean? Takuya asked. The surgical error resulted in many patient deaths, but there's evidence that the doctors were hiding something. Among the records are clues to illegal experiments and treatments. Ioka continued reading. Illegal experiments? Rika exclaimed in shock. Yes, this hospital was conducting horrifying experiments using patients as guinea pigs, Yuta said, staring at the documents. As they continued their investigation, Yuta and his friends found information about the hospital's basement. The basement was a secret facility separate from the regular hospital equipment. If we go there, we might find more concrete evidence. Yuta found a map indicating the way to the basement. The group proceeded down the corridor towards the basement. Descending the stairs, they were met with cold air. At the basement entrance, a heavy iron door stood before them, leading into darkness. Let's proceed carefully. We don't know what awaits us, Yuta said, shining his flashlight as they moved forward. The basement's interior was a bizarre space, as if time had stopped. Old experimental equipment and chemicals were scattered around, and strange symbols and figures were drawn on the walls. Yuta and his friends carefully moved through the area, eventually reaching the innermost room. There, a large glass case contained an unnaturally shaped object. Beside the case were detailed records of the experiments. "What is this?" Takia exclaimed in shock. "It appears they were conducting experiments to modify human genes. The doctors here were using patients as test subjects," Yuta said, reading the records. "I can't believe this," Rika said in disbelief. At that moment, the entire hospital shook again, and strange noises echoed. A black shadow emerged from the depths of the basement, advancing towards Yuta and his friends. "Run!" Yuta shouted, and the group rushed towards the exit. Escaping from the abandoned hospital, Yuta and his friends breathed in the fresh air outside. However, a sense of fear and a mission to uncover the hospital's darkness grew within them. "We can't end it like this. We must uncover the truth about what happened in this hospital," Yuta said with renewed determination. The disappearance of a friend. After the events at the abandoned hospital, Yuta and his friends resolved to uncover what had happened there. They began researching the hospital's past and the experiments conducted there, gathering more detailed information from the town's library and public records. There's a record of Drive. Sato, the former director of the hospital. He was a brilliant doctor but disappeared suddenly. Aoka read the documents she found at the library. Drive. Sato might be connected to this. "Let's dig deeper," Yuta said, delving into the documents for new clues. That night, Yuta and his friends planned to return to the hospital. This time, their goal was to find Drive, Sato's office, and gather more information. They prepared carefully and entered the abandoned hospital once again. The hospital's corridors were still eerie, with shadows seeming to sway in the dim light. They climbed the stairs to the third floor, where Drive, Sato's office, was supposed to be. "This is Drive, Sato's office." Yuta pointed to an old wooden door. Opening the door, they saw a dusty desk and shelves. Yuta and his friends began to carefully examine the room, searching through the desk drawers and shelves. Yuta found an old diary. "This is Drive, Sato's diary," Yuta said excitedly as he opened it. The diary detailed the experiments conducted at the hospital and Drive, Sato's inner struggles. He was tormented by guilt over using patients for illegal experiments and struggled to hide the results. Drive. Sato was deeply troubled by his actions. But what was the purpose of these experiments? Yuta continued reading the diary. Suddenly, the room's lights flickered, and the door slammed shut. Startled, Yuta and his friends turned to see a black shadow standing before the door. "Run!" Yuta shouted, and the group rushed towards the exit, but Takia was nowhere to be seen. "Takia is gone!" Rika screamed. "Takia? Where are you?" Yuta called out desperately, but Takia was nowhere in sight. Truth in the mist. Takia's disappearance shocked Yuta and his friends. They immediately began searching for him, but the abandoned hospital was like a maze, and finding clues was not easy. "Takia can't just disappear. Where did he go?" Aoka said, tearfully. "Calm down. We'll find him. He must be somewhere," Yuta said, trying to stay calm despite his inner anxiety. Yuta and his friends resumed exploring the hospital, splitting up to search each room for signs of Takia. However, the entire hospital was shrouded in mist, reducing visibility and adding to the eerie atmosphere. "Something is hidden in this mist. Takia might have been taken by it," Rika said worriedly. "We need to investigate more carefully," Yuta said, using his flashlight to guide them through the mist. Eventually, they returned to the operating room. Takia was lying on the operating table, unconscious. Fortunately, his life was not in danger. "Takia, are you okay?" Yuta shook Takia's shoulders and called out, "Ugh, where am I?" Takia slowly opened his eyes. "Thank goodness, you're safe," Rika said with relief. I was suddenly dragged away. When I came to, I was here, Takia explained, still confused. At least you're safe. Let's get out of here quickly, Yuta said, supporting Takia as they left the operating room. However, as they headed for the exit, they were once again blocked by a black shadow. The shadow quietly stared at them and began to speak in a low voice. Do you know what happened in this hospital? The shadow's voice was cold. Who are you? Tell us what happened, Yuta shouted at the shadow. I am a former patient of this hospital. Terrible experiments were conducted here, and many lives were sacrificed. Drive. Sato tried to save us, but he himself was eliminated. The shadow's voice carried a tone of sorrow. Such a thing. What happened in this hospital? Ioka asked, trembling. Everything lies in the basement. There, the entire truth will be revealed, the shadow said before disappearing. The basement. There's definitely something there, Yuta said with renewed determination, deciding to head to the basement with his friends. Returning to the basement, Yuta and his friends investigated the area thoroughly to uncover the truth. They found more horrifying experimental records and a letter left by Drive. Sato. This letter details all the experiments and what Drive Sato wanted to convey to us, Yuta said, reading the letter. Now we can uncover the whole truth. We need to know what happened here and tell the outside world, Rika said with determination. The path to survival. Yuta and his friends learned the full extent of the terrifying experiments conducted in the hospital through Drive Sato's letter. The letter detailed the true reason for the hospital's closure and Drive Sato's efforts to save the patients despite his overwhelming guilt. Drive Sato struggled with his actions, trying to hide the results while opposing the illegal experiments. He tried to convey the truth despite being tormented by guilt, Yuta said, deeply moved after reading the letter. We need to tell the outside world what happened here. The victims won't be at peace otherwise, Ioka said with determination. But how do we get out? There's still something lurking in this hospital, Rika asked anxiously. We're together. We'll make it out. We can't let Drive Sato's efforts go to waste, Yuta encouraged his friends. They cautiously made their way towards the hospital's exit with the letter and records. As they proceeded through the corridors, strange phenomena began to occur again. Doors closed on their own, footsteps echoed, and cold wind enveloped them. Be careful. Something is still watching us, Yuta said, trying to stay calm despite his tension. Finally, they reached the operating room again. There, the spirits of former patients appeared and spoke to them. Thank you for saving us and uncovering the hospital's dark secrets. The spirits' voices were gentle, expressing gratitude. We came here to learn the truth and tell the outside world what happened. We will never forget you, Yuta spoke softly. The spirits smiled and gradually disappeared. At that moment, the entire hospital shook, and strange noises echoed. Yuta and his friends quickly headed for the exit and burst out of the hospital. Breathing in the fresh air outside, they sighed with relief. The abandoned hospital was silent, and its darkness slowly faded. We did it. We finally made it out, Rika said with tears in her eyes. This isn't the end. We need to tell the outside world the truth, Yuta said with firm resolve. The unfading shadow. Yuta and his friends documented their experiences in the hospital and provided them to the local media and police. Their testimony, along with the records of the terrifying experiments conducted at the hospital, shocked the public. Drive Sato's letter and records were made public, revealing the truth. Now, his feelings will be at peace, Ioka said, deeply moved. But this event left us with deep scars. We must remember these memories and live on, Rika said quietly. Yuta and his friends never returned to the hospital. but its memory remains an unfading shadow in their hearts. They vowed to live on, never forgetting the experience at the hospital. This event taught us a lot. We must never forget the courage to seek the truth and the strength to believe in our friends. Yuta said to his friends. That's right. We overcame this darkness together. We'll always be friends, Takia replied with a smile. As time passed, Yuta and his friends continued to walk their own paths. The abandoned hospital gradually returned to nature, and its terrifying past faded away. However, the memory remained an unfading shadow in their hearts. Their experience served as a lesson for future generations, highlighting the importance of pursuing the truth and the courage to face challenges with friends. Let's never forget what happened at this hospital. We learned a lot here, Yuta said softly. That's right. Let's move forward with this memory in our hearts, Ayaka replied strongly. Thus, Yuta and his friends overcame the events at the abandoned hospital and moved towards the future. The memory remained an unfading shadow in their hearts, symbolizing their strength and courage. Thank you for spending time with Luna today until the end. I'm very happy if you enjoyed the heartwarming reading. Please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. I have a new reading prepared for tomorrow, so please come back again. Have a good night, and see you tomorrow.